Hi, today is Monday, July 21st, 2025. This article was shared by my friend John Jackson, and I just saved it to read on my casual time. So here I am. This article was written by Matt Michalotos. Probably he is of Greek origin, right? And it's about Trump administration. An 82-year-old man was taken by ICE at a green card replacement appointment. His family was never informed where he was or how to get a hold of him until he was in a foreign hospital, despite the fact that he was a permanent legal resident of the U.S. Louis Leong came to the U.S. 38 years ago. He had been tortured in his native Chile by the administration of the dictator Augusto Pinochet. The U.S. gave him political asylum, and he came legally to the United States in 1987. Louis built a life here in the U.S. He worked at a leather manufacturing plant, raised 4 kids, and eventually retired. He is well loved in his neighborhood in Allentown, Pennsylvania. He likes to garden and fish and do small repairs for the neighbors. In June, he lost his wallet, which had his green card in it. No problem, Louis and his wife made an appointment to get it replaced. But when they arrived for the appointment, Louis was handcuffed and taken away, and his wife was held for 10 hours until her granddaughter showed up to get her. His family couldn't find him for the full month. The immigration detention tracker never showed him as in ICE custody. Immigration officials had no answers they were willing to give, despite multiple calls. The family called local prisons and hospitals and even morgues, but couldn't find anyone who knew where Louis was. A relative in Chile called the family yesterday to let them know that 82-year-old Louis was now in a hospital in Guatemala, apparently deported to his country by the U.S. government, though ICE still won't even confirm that Louis showed up for his green card replacement appointment, let alone that they had him in custody and deported him. Now that the family has found Louis, ICE says they are investigating what happened. Sometimes when I share these stories, people push back and say something like, if he was here for all these years, why didn't he become a citizen? It's a really weird and ignorant question for a variety of reasons, but more importantly, it's off topic to this post. Yeah, I am curious about that too. So before we change subjects to why someone might not get their U.S. citizenship, let me pose a few counter questions. Do you think legal permanent resident of the U.S. should be taken into custody at what should be a normal administrative appointment? Yeah, that's the problem. Do you think people should be held with no access to lawyers or family? That's bad. Should permanent legal residents be deported to a country other than their home country and put in a hospital without ever informing family or legal representation? Because that's what we are talking about. Meanwhile, we have no idea if ICE deported a legal permanent resident of the United States on purpose or somehow by accident. Certainly, since ICE's tripled quota for arrests, they've had a lot more mistakes. And I am not just talking about the more famous moments like administrative errors, that involve illegally deporting someone to El Salvador. We also have things like a U.S. Marshal being mistakenly detained by ICE. ICE apologized for detaining U.S. citizens because it caught them speaking Spanish. ICE claims assaults against agents had increased between 500 and 700%, but then released the statistics that showed despite the huge increase in ICE arresting people, ICE's own self-reported stats of assaults barely increased at all, probably because they've been arresting people on bogus assault claims and then never charged any of them because it was just an excuse to put bystanders in handcuffs. ICE accidentally sent a 15-year-old to the Everglades concentration camp because they didn't verify his age or identity. Meanwhile, Louis, a permanent resident of the U.S., who came here legally, had legal status and doesn't have so much as a parking ticket, has been taken from his family, kept from legal counsel, deported to a country he has never been from, and put in the hospital. Why? Because he lost his wallet, right? Doesn't have so much as a parking ticket. Doesn't have so much as a parking ticket. Right, counsel, legal counsel, access to legal counsel. Legal representation. So here I'll just write down legal counsel. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful Monday. Bye-bye.